Let that sink in for a moment. While you are lying in bed, swiping through endless short-form videos, trying to find just one more hit of cheap dopamine before you finally decide to get up. Someone else is out there taking your spot. They don't know your name. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care that you had a long week, or that you're feeling a little unmotivated today, or that it's raining outside. They are just quietly, methodically, and ruthlessly building the exact life that you have been daydreaming about for years. This video isn't going to be one of those gentle, take it at your own pace motivational speeches. We have enough of those. We live in a culture that loves to coddle us. Telling us that everyone is on this video isn't going to be one of those gentle, take it at your own pace motivational speeches. We have enough of those. We live in a culture that loves to coddle us, telling us that everyone is on their own timeline and that everything will just magically work out in the end. But you and I both know the world doesn't actually work like that. The real world is fiercely competitive. It is survival of the fittest. If you clicked on this video, it's because you feel an anxious knot in your stomach. You feel the gap between where you are right now and where you know you are supposed to be. You are terrified of falling behind, but for some reason, you just can't seem to stop sabotaging yourself. Our own timeline, and that everything will just magically work out in the end. But you and I both know the world doesn't actually work like that. The real world is fiercely competitive. It is survival of the fittest. If you clicked on this video, it's because you feel an anxious knot in your stomach. You feel the gap between where you are right now and where you know you are supposed to be. You are terrified of falling behind, but for some reason, you just can't seem to stop sabotaging yourself. Today, we are going to tear down the illusion of safety you've built around yourself. We are going to expose the unseen competition that is currently lapping you. Break down the psychological trap of your own comfort zone and figure out how to shock your system back into motion before your dreams are permanently handed over to someone else. Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. You have been sold a massive lie about how success happens. We grew up hearing that if you just have a good heart, if you're a decent person, and if you just do your best, the universe will eventually reward you. We are told not to compare ourselves to others, but in the grand scheme of life, whether you are trying to build a business, get in elite physical shape, or land that highly competitive career, your kindness and your good intentions are not going to save you. Here's what's crazy. The market, the world, the industry you want to dominate, it doesn't care if you are a nice person. It only respects one thing: undeniable value and relentless execution. When you sit back and tell yourself, "I'll get to it when I feel ready," you are acting as if the world is going to politely pause and wait for you to catch up. It won't. Every single industry, every single goal, has a limited number of spots at the very top. It's a game of musical chairs, and the music is playing right now. You keep looking at your goals as if they exist in a vacuum. You think it's just you versus the barbell, or you versus the laptop. But it's not. It's you versus the thousands of other hungry people who want that exact same prize. And the terrifying truth is, you are letting them win by default. I want you to try a mental exercise with me. Close your eyes and visualize a person. This person is your exact age. They grew up in a similar neighborhood. They have the exact same level of natural talent as you. And they started with the exact same amount of money in their bank account. They aren't some child prodigy. They aren't a genius. They don't have rich parents or secret industry connections. But there is one massive difference between you and them. They have completely removed the word tomorrow from their vocabulary. It's 5:30 a.m. on a Monday. The alarm goes off. You both feel that familiar ache in your bones. You both have a headache. You both feel the overwhelming gravity of a warm bed pulling you back down. Your brain starts negotiating. I worked hard yesterday. I really need to prioritize my rest. One missed morning won't kill me. You hit snooze. You surrender. Your faceless rival feels the exact same resistance. Their brain makes the exact same excuses. But instead of negotiating, they throw the covers off. Not because they feel motivated. Motivation is a myth. But because the physical disgust of staying in the same place is stronger than their desire for comfort. You've probably noticed this too. When you see someone succeed, it's so easy to dismiss them as lucky or gifted. It protects our ego. It allows us to say, well, they had an advantage I didn't have. But if you strip away the excuses, you'll realize the gap between you and them isn't talent. The gap is the thousands of unseen hours they stacked up while nobody was watching. Every time you choose the easy route, you are literally gift-wrapping your future and handing it to this unseen rival. They don't feel bad for you. They don't even know you exist. They are simply outworking you in the dark. And eventually, they are going to take the spotlight that was meant for you. So, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we procrastinate when we know it's ruining our lives? Most people never realize this, but your biggest problem isn't that you are lazy. If you were truly lazy, you wouldn't be watching a long-form self-improvement video right now. Truly lazy people are perfectly content playing video games for 12 hours a day and never thinking twice about their lack of ambition. You feel guilt. You feel anxiety. That means you have ambition. Your problem is your threshold for pain. We are biologically wired to avoid discomfort. Our brains are essentially supercomputers, constantly running a background algorithm. Is the pain of changing greater than the pain of staying exactly where I am? Right now, your threshold for tolerating a miserable, mediocre life is just too damn high. You have accidentally developed a toxic superpower, the ability to endure a life you secretly hate without actually taking the steps to change it. You can absorb the disappointment of looking in the mirror and not liking what you see. You can absorb the stress of a low bank account. You can absorb the embarrassment of telling your friends you're still working on that project year after year. You absorb all of this friction, and yet you still function. You still order your iced coffee. You still laugh at memes, and you still go to sleep. You have mastered the art of surviving your own disappointment. As long as the familiar ache of your current life feels less intimidating than the sharp, burning pain of discipline, rejection, and hard work, your brain will automatically choose to keep you trapped. You don't need another dopamine-fueled motivational pump-up. You need to raise the cost of staying the same. You need to look around at your current habits and allow yourself to feel physically sick over how much potential you are actively suffocating. You have to make the comfort zone unbearable. Let's talk about the resource you are currently bleeding out. Time. We walk around with this arrogant delusion that time is infinite. When you waste a whole Tuesday doing absolutely nothing productive, it doesn't sting that much, because Wednesday is right there waiting for you. But think about it for a second. What if your life was a jar of marbles, and every single marble represented a day where you actually possessed the health, the energy, and the opportunity to change your life? Every morning you wake up, a marble is permanently removed from the jar and shattered on the floor. If you could actually see that jar getting emptier every single day, you would be absolutely terrified to waste another second. You would move with a sense of violent urgency. But because the clock is invisible, you gamble. You bet your potential on the assumption that someday will eventually arrive. Someday I'll start the business. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll become the person I know I can be. Failure is loud. When you try something and fail, it hurts, but it teaches you. Wasted time, on the other hand, is completely silent. It doesn't sound an alarm. It just quietly slips out the back door, taking the absolute best years of your life with it. And one day, you're going to blink. A decade will have vanished. And the only thing you'll have to show for it is a list of perfectly crafted excuses. Stop spending your mornings like you are going to get a refund on them. You aren't. When people finally get sick of their own excuses, they usually try to change their lives the wrong way. They treat self-improvement like a house renovation. They think, I'm going to keep my exact same personality, my exact same friends, and my exact same mindset. I'm just going to slap a new coat of paint on it. I'll add a 20-minute gym session. I'll read a few pages of a book. It doesn't work. The person you are right now, your current beliefs, your current limits, your current fears is the exact architect who built the life you are currently trying to escape. You cannot layer a legendary high-performance life over a weak, undisciplined foundation. If you want to become the person who achieves your wildest dreams, the current version of you has to be completely dismantled. Think about the ancient process of forging a high-quality sword. A master blacksmith doesn't just take a chunk of raw iron, wipe it down with a cloth, and call it a weapon. They throw it into a blazing, roaring fire until it is glowing red-hot. Then, they pull it out and smash it with a heavy hammer over and over again. They fold the steel, beat out the impurities, and destroy its original shape to forge something entirely new. That is what true evolution requires. It is not a gentle, good vibes only process. It is a controlled demolition of your ego. You have to willingly walk into the fire of hard work. You have to let the hammer of discipline strike you until all the laziness, all the entitlement, and all the fear of judgment are completely beaten out of your system. You have to be willing to look foolish. You have to be willing to fail publicly. You have to let the old you shatter, so that from the rubble, you can build a version of yourself that is practically indestructible. As you start to separate yourself from the herd, as you start outworking your unseen rival, you are going to face massive resistance from the people around you. Now here's the interesting part. Society has a funny way of trying to neutralize anyone who threatens the status quo. When you start waking up early, working late, and obsessing over your goals, people are going to tell you to calm down. They'll tell you you're being too intense. They'll tell you take a break, to be realistic, to just come out and have a drink with them. For years, you have probably listened to them. You felt a dark, intense hunger inside of you, a drive for greatness, but you put a leash on it. You buried it under layers of politeness because you didn't want to make normal people uncomfortable. That is the biggest mistake you can ever make. That hunger, that obsession, that monster inside of you, that is not a character flaw. That is your greatest biological advantage. The people who actually win at the highest levels of life are not balanced. They are beautifully, unapologetically obsessed. They don't care about fitting in with people who have zero ambition. You need to stop apologizing for wanting more. Wake that monster up. Stop feeding it scraps of motivation and start feeding it action. Let it consume your excuses. Let it terrify the people who want you to stay average. The hunger you feel is the most honest part of you. Let it eat. So how do we actually lock this in? How do we permanently stay ahead of the person trying to replace us? And this is where things change. You have to build a delusion in your mind that is fundamentally stronger than the reality in front of your eyes. Average people let their present circumstances dictate what they are allowed to dream about. They look at their current bank account, their current fitness level, and their current job, and they shrink their goals to fit that tiny little box. Champions work in reverse. They build an incredibly vivid, high-definition blueprint of their future self in their mind. They see the exact person they are destined to become. They know how that person walks, how they talk, what standards they hold, and what they refuse to tolerate. They make that future identity so aggressively real in their own mind that their current reality starts to feel like a temporary glitch in the matrix. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your self-image. If you see yourself as a lazy procrastinator who is just trying to get better, you will always slide back into laziness. But if you vividly see yourself as a relentless force of nature who is simply trapped in a temporary state of transition, you will act with undeniable power. Every single morning before you make a decision, you have to ask yourself, what would the future version of me do right now? Would the millionaire version of you hit snooze? Would the incredibly fit version of you eat that garbage? Would the elite version of you be scared of this phone call? No. You have to act out the identity of the winner before you have the trophy to prove it. When your internal delusion becomes that strong, reality has no choice but to warp and bend until it catches up to you. We are reaching the end of the line here. The video is almost over, which means you are about to face a very familiar crossroads. You can do what you always do. You can feel a brief, warm rush of motivation. You can drop a fire emoji in the comments. And then, you can click onto another video. You can go back to scrolling. You can let this feeling evaporate into thin air. Go to sleep tonight as the exact same person. And wake up tomorrow to surrender yet another marble from your jar. If you do that, I promise you, your unseen rival is going to win. They are going to take the career, the financial freedom, and the pride that was supposed to be yours. And years from now, you are going to have to watch them live your dream. Or you can make a different choice. You can decide that right here, right now, the old version of you is officially dead. You can accept that the world owes you nothing, that comfort is a poison, and that your time is running out. You can realize that somewhere out there, your replacement is lacing up their shoes, sitting down at their desk, and getting to work. Are you going to let them take it from you? Are you going to let a stranger outwork you for your own life? Stop negotiating with your weakness. Stop surviving a life you hate. The music is playing. The chairs are disappearing. Get off this app, go look in the mirror, wake the monster up, and get to work.